What happened when we put a politician in a plane? Can you really expect to get an airline job? And free stuff online. I'm Vicky Ferrer and this is fullflap.tv Connect. If you don't know much about the physics of flying, you might think jets must be faster than prop aircraft, right? Wrong. Here's one that would give a VLJ a real run for its money, the Compair 12. It's not quite ready yet, but the composite turboprop will almost certainly cruise at 310 knots. That's 70 knots or 80 miles or 130 kilometers per hour faster than the D-Jet. And it'll travel double the distance on a tank of gas. So why not buy one instantly? Well, this 8-seater will cost more than double the expected price of the D-Jet at just under $3 million US. So it really depends on how many mates you've got. Compair hope all the paperwork will be finished by the end of 2010. Talking of comparisons, remember I mentioned the Bugatti Veyron last week and compared it to the D-Jet? Well, I had a look at a few of the figures. Basically, you'll get the Veyron to do 250 miles per hour at top speed. But at that speed, you'll go 1,300 miles in a D-Jet, while your Veyron will run out of fuel in just over 12 minutes and you'll have only covered 50 miles. Your Veyron will also suffer from traffic lights, traffic jams and speed cameras. And the final nail in the coffin is this: the Veyron is a lot more expensive. If you want an airline job, there's a lot of mixed news out there. While some firms are going bust and laying off staff, others are crying out for new pilots. According to jetjobs.com, despite some ups and downs this year, last month figures show 69 US carriers are still actively looking for new pilots. Do you have an iPod Touch? If so, how do you fancy some flight planning software for just $10? That's £6 or €7. The real-world pilot behind the hugely popular flight sim X-Plane is taking his skills out of the computer screen and into the real world. Austin Mayer has also just released X-Plane for the iPhone. Yes, a flight sim for the train in the morning. By the way, if you don't have the $1 million US Cirrus for their jet, then you can already fly it on X-Plane. The last round of the Red Bull Air Race is just 2 weeks away in Perth. Austria's Hannes Arndt looks set to take the title, but unlike many sports, it's impossible to say it's in the bag, as Paul Bonham found out last year. We'll hear from the pilots in Connect next Monday. Make sure you watch out for that. Coming up next, we put a politician in a plane.
Fullflap.tv is your fast and fresh roundup of what's going on in the skies. Whether you fly a 747, a bizjet or the tiniest microlight, we take a pilot's point of view. It's the stories that excite you, are useful or just make you laugh. It's the stories that remind you why you love flying or even should start flying for the first time. So great new aircraft, fascinating interviews with people around the world and features will make you laugh and cry. The best bit, it's all completely free. You might be watching this right now on one of these great websites. You can also subscribe using iTunes or YouTube. But perhaps the easiest way is simply to let us know where to send our email updates. We'll tell you what's going on behind the scenes, what features we're working on, what interviews we're lining up, and tell you the best websites to watch our show on. Simply go to www.fullflap.tv and tell us where to send it.
Now, sit back, relax and prepare to find out what happened when we put a politician in a plane. Over to Joe.
You couldn't get much more of a contrast, a politician and a pilot. But why is it that so many politicians seem to hate GA? There may be a few who don't, but most seem to, which is rather surprising since there are so many of us with votes. Perhaps they just don't get it. Perhaps they know how to run countries and cities, but can't understand the freedom of flight. So once again, we decided to take on a challenge that seemed to defy sanity. Could we persuade a politician to like GA? The only way to find out would be to put a politician in a plane. And here's the man we selected. Admittedly, he was one of the few who said yes, but even then, he was cautious. His name is Damien Hockney. His instructor will be Andy Wolford. Andy's many years of experience and has seen just about every type of student on Earth, but never a politician.
Which is generally termed air experience.
We figured that if we were to persuade Damien, he would have to have a chance to fly a plane. The best way of doing that would be for him to go through the same thing every new trainee pilot goes through, their first ever flying lesson.
A skill is something that you learn to do.
It doesn't look encouraging, does it?
Carpenter or anything else.
We like to be briefed. Told what to do.
That's right, yes.
And not.
So how did it go, Damien?
Yours and pitches, you know. I've forgotten every single bit of that.
Perhaps half of the problem why politicians have got it so wrong is that they don't come across us much. So we asked Andy and Damien what they made of each other.
It's hard to tell. You can teach anybody to fly with the right motivation, but there again he's a politician and they manage to screw most things up.
He's a good guy. I mean, he knows his stuff, but it's all very technical.
Still some bonding work to do then. But then it is a little different from Damien's normal
workplace. Do you
workplace,
have that information that they do not have?
which is London's City Hall. Damien isn't afraid to speak his mind. He's cool, calm and collected.
At something which was clearly unacceptable.
But not today.
I've got the first bit right anyway.
Swing your legs into the pit there. Now, you're sitting on the seatbelt, so if you just lean forward
This
there,
is true.
you get the seatbelt.
What's that? Why is it doing that?
Flying's much like driving. Turn the controls to the right and you pretty much go right.
That's, if you turn it to the right, the other right, that's it.
Yes. So the briefing is done. Next thing on a first ever lesson is to go flying.
The die is cast.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, it's like an old car. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
just like an old car.
Is that nerves? With the engine going, everything starts to settle down. It all starts to make a lot more sense. Well, not all of it.
During the course of this flight, I will ask you at certain times to follow me through. Cool. Okay. When I want you to fly the aircraft, I will actually say to you, you have control. And I need you to read it back to me and say, confirm, I have control.
I have control.
So we'll just try that now. You have control.
Confirm, I have control.
No, you just say, I have control.
I have control. I have control.
Okay, you have control. So now you'll have a good look out on the approach to make sure that nobody's arriving unexpectedly.
Most politicians do something other than, well, shouting. Damien also publishes half of the world's hairdressing magazines. So what does he make of our pilot's haircut?
He maybe might need a sort of a L'Oreal tint on his hair, perhaps, I don't know, but otherwise a pretty good and modern style.
Confirm departure, clear takeoff, Golf Echo Sierra. Okay, lights, camera, action. I'm going to give this full power on the brakes. We have full power indicated on the RPM. Temperatures and pressures are normal.
We'll have part 2 for you very soon. Finally, we love stuff for free and AOPA's Air Safety Foundation have a new website for you to play with. Unfortunately, safety is often done in such a boring or patronising way that, let's face it, no one takes it in, which means it fails to do its job. Luckily, a few people seem to understand that, and this is one of those projects. It's easy to follow, even Rick managed to do it, and it actually explains why you should think about these things rather than just telling you off. You don't need to be an AOPA member, just get a username and off you go. We've got lots more news next week and a look ahead to the Red Bull Air Race finale. And if you're a webmaster, then check out the links on our website at www.fullflap.tv to see how you can embed our show in your website. I'm Vicky Ferrer and this is fullflap.tv Connect.